Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Weather with Jonathan here, and in this video, we have to talk about a massive Arctic blast coming to the northeast, potentially another storm in the south, and another cold season for the north. We're going to be breaking all of this down in the weather video, and there also could be a chance of severe weather in the south possibly develop around February 8th. We'll get all of that done right in your forecast. So as we start off, the temperatures in the northeast are going to be crashing to a whopping possibly down to minus 30 degrees in some parts of North Maine. In New Hampshire and the coldest parts of New York could see temperatures going down, possibly down to minus 40 degrees. Now, as you can see, these temperatures up here, these are going to be very below average, like very, very below average. You're going to see temperatures in New York right about 10 degrees. Boston about minus 10. Augusta minus 20. Concord minus 15. Montpelier minus 20. Utica up to minus or down to all the way minus 25. So these are obviously going to be very cold temperatures. I would expect the coldest temperatures ranging from here to here. Now, these temperatures are going to be very, very cold. So I would recommend preparing. Now, we do have a little batch of blizzard warnings up right here, but it doesn't, I don't really know what they're for right now, but we also have a bunch of snow squall warnings for the ongoing storm in New York. So, yeah. And these warnings up here in New York, they're actually driven by snow squall. So you see all these purple here. These are snow squall warnings, which means there are very heavy bands of snow. And as you can see, these areas currently right now are under wind chill warnings, blizzard warnings, snow squall warnings, and wind chill watches. But we do have heavy freezing spray warnings for Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Superior. This means that the water is like freezing over. And then because of that cold Arctic blast, we also have very cold temperatures across much of the upper Midwest. Places like Minnesota and very extreme northwestern Wisconsin could see temperatures ranging to minus 10 to 20 degrees, which is, you can tell that is very cold. And this is going to result in a lot of frostbite to a hyperthermia possible, so you would need to be prepared. Now, as we get farther into February, around February 7th, we do have this storm system try to fuse up with some Gulf of Mexico moisture. This doesn't seem to be a threat right now, but what I'm watching is the 9th because this has got higher dew points. And this does reach pretty far north. The Cape is looking fairly decent, so I think we could get something possibly significant. Cape values up to about 1,500 down here in Texas, which that's obviously going to be enough to cause some severe weather. So the Storm Prediction Center hasn't put anything out, but I think they'll include a day 6 or day 7 slight risk when that comes out. then it really starts to ramp up on the 9th. It starts to go down on the 10th, but it also ramps up again on the morning of or late night on the 10th. Doesn't really seem to be too bad on the 11th, which also, by the way, is my birthday. And then it starts ramping up later in the afternoon to evening hours. Now, any of these storms after that very well could be significant, but I'm more worried about the one on the 9th/the 10th. Also, you can see this really cool blast up here in Canada. If that was actually further south than like Minnesota, we could have another one of those deep freezes like we're seeing today. In places like Minnesota and extreme northwestern Wisconsin. Now, these storms, there's gonna be a lot of them. You can see that this cold air just comes back, and after the ice storm, this is mostly gonna be mainly just dry. I wouldn't say like it's not gonna be dry, but it's gonna be boring. And then something happens, and that's gonna cause some snow on the backside. This also tries to fuse up with some Gulf of Mexico moisture. This will be mainly not really, but after, but around the 12th, the weather will be nice. You should enjoy in places like Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, Oklahoma. But the problem is guess what? You have this little cold snap, and that's gonna bring some really cold air, which actually the temperatures could reach in places like Missouri could reach down to about 20. Iowa, yes, you can get very cold temperatures. But it'll start to warm up. Temperatures in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, you're gonna be warming up to about 50 degrees, which is pretty warm. But Florida, oh my gosh, you're gonna get temperatures well above 80 degrees possibly on the 12th. You're gonna have a really good day that day. But then it starts to cool down on Valentine's Day, temperatures 50 to 60 degrees. But it will warm up later in the day to about 70 to 75, and then it'll start to cool down. But guess what? Before all of this, we have a storm system moving in. And guess what? That's going to bring something possibly pretty, maybe significant. Possibly. I'm not worried about this or anything because this is, first of all, pretty hard to track because it's still about 100 hours or more away. So this is pretty, yeah. You can see all this wind shear up and like places like Davenport, Iowa, Columbia, Missouri. Now this is a truly massive system. All of this wind shear, you can see a lot of that. Now this just continues to grow larger over the Great Lakes too. But the storm system that's moving in, that's gonna be down here in Texas. Wind knots could be up very well up to 60 knots, which is pretty powerful. Um, but this storm, 700 millibar jet stream slash wind, knots could be ranging up to possibly 80 knots, which is very powerful. Even some places in northern Arkansas, 85. That is very strong. Now, the 500 millibar, I rely on a little more because it's a little more accurate to me. The knots are likely going to be up to about 100 to 110, so that is pretty good. Now, if we check out the national blend of models for snow, we're not talking too much snow wise. But we could see some snow with the GFS showing With what's the GFS showing, it's gonna show some snow, quite a bit of snow, ranging from northwestern Oklahoma, northern Texas, up to about Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. You guys could be seeing in Michigan and Wisconsin, you guys could see up to 20 inches of snow. But this is all the way through all the snow you're gonna get until February 18th, which I think you'll no, this is pretty accurate, but I don't think you're gonna see as much. But the sleet doesn't look like anything too much. But the freezing rain, you could actually get a few showers up out here in Texas. I think these are from the storm that dropped, the ice storm earlier. You actually could see locally up to a quarter of an inch in New York / Watertown, New York, that area. And we also have a little bit of ice possible up here in the upper Midwest. Originally, that storm that was gonna drop that actually was showing, wow, a ton of ice. They were showing like up to 3/4 of an inch. That is a lot. Now, if we take a look at the snow depth, daily, this is what it's gonna look like. You guys up here in northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, you guys have got a lot of snow. Yeah, and this is gonna start melting around the 8th, but watch this, a snow banger tries to come in. Now, I don't think this is gonna cost too much, but it's the storm that comes soon after that, about around the 18th. Something happens over here, like you get some good snow. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And thank you for all the support you're showing me. Also, make sure to check out my second channel. It's at Meme James, and I hope you enjoyed this video.